Welcome back to Distant Gooner TV. This is your match preview, Arsenal versus Leeds. First Premier League home game of the season under the lights of the Emirates, 5:30 Saturday. Cannot wait, buzzing for it. Before we get into that, please make sure, as always, you like, subscribe to the channel. Before we get into that, as always, please make sure you like the video. Just click that button, just a little click. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. As always, keep it here for all of your Arsenal news wherever you are in the world. Let's get into it. And we start off with, randomly, because this is a match preview, the breaking news from yesterday: Eberechi Eze, £68 million. We snatched him from Tottenham. Thank God this is happening. If you, like me, are absolutely buzzing for this, please get in touch. It was just amazing news. What a day yesterday. I was like a kid at Christmas, just flicking through every single report I could find on this. So I just couldn't believe it, because I honestly thought, like most of us probably, that this deal was gone. It hasn't been talked about for a while. Tottenham, of course, the interest was ramping up, and really by the weekend it was a case of, it was more or less kind of done. He was going to go. And there was even talk yesterday about, they were throwing Richarlison into the mix to try and get the deal done. And it was just an absolute madness where this came from yesterday. Now, whether it was impacted, of course, we heard the news coming out of the club yesterday about Kai Havertz and a reoccurrence of a knee injury. Now, we don't know, obviously, how serious it is. The fact that this has escalated, I don't think it's any coincidence. I think there must be something in it that potentially is kind of keeping him out for a while, which, I'll be sad to see. I mean, as much as I wouldn't have him as a starter, so on the one hand, I'm kind of thinking this is good, because it gives a clear run for Gyokeres to start, finish games, build up his fitness, get used to the team, rather than him being sort of gradually, moulded into the team and brought off after 60 minutes. So hopefully at least that won't happen. But anyway, yeah, this news from yesterday was absolutely buzzing. I mean, please get in touch and let me know your thoughts on the window now. Assuming that this is the last one to be done, is this the final piece of the jigsaw that could eventually take us over the line? Time will tell. Not sure, but either way, I'm buzzing for this move. Whether he plays on the left, whether he plays through the middle, whether he plays as the number 10, the Ødegaard position. I mean, the possibilities are endless with this player, and I think that's what he gives us. He gives that creativity that we're so blatantly starved of at the moment. I mean, if you look at the Man United game, we just could not create anything. So that's why the sooner he comes into the club, the better. So yeah, buzzing about that. But moving on to the game, of course, Leeds newly promoted, so don't know an awful lot about them, in the sense that, I haven't watched a lot of them last season, but, clearly they're obviously a good team. But being honest, I mean, nowadays, the three teams that come out generally go back down, so I'm not expecting a great deal from them, and I'm fully expecting us to put in a good performance at home on the weekend. After the win against Man United, I think it's really important to keep that momentum going. We know, and we've talked about how tough this start to the season is. Regardless of who you're playing, it's always good, isn't it, to get off to a good start, set the marker early. And if you think about it, if we, as tough as the start is, if we end up winning these games against these top teams and get these tough games out of the way, it puts us in an absolutely amazing position going forward, So, and certainly this, you would say on paper, is probably the easiest game. I don't want to say easy, but you know what I mean. It's the less challenging game, if you like, out of the first few fixtures. So definitely looking for us to have more cohesion, because, as I say, the Man United game, it just looks so off the pace. Amongst the other issues in terms of a lack of creativity, there was just a lack of sharpness, and it was almost like a bunch of strangers. And we haven't changed that much. Only Zubamendi really, and Gyokeres were the new players that came in and started. So yes, I know Madueke came on, but yeah, I want to see a lot more sharpness, and I know it will eventually come, but sooner rather than later. We really need to pick it up, I think, quickly, because, as I say, and like we've just been saying, tough games coming up. So let's get into the starting 11 that I would pick. You remember what we do on this channel? I will pick my starting 11. We could all probably pick what Arteta's going to do, but I think it's more interesting, as I say, to kind of go through what I would pick. And as always, please get in touch. Let me know your thoughts on my team. What would you change? Would you agree with what I'm saying? It's all about that interaction with the community. So please get in touch. But as you'll see on the screen, not many changes for me, but you will notice straight away in terms of the back four. Personally, I would bring Lewis Skelly back in. Calafiori, I know this might seem a bit harsh, and I'm not saying he did loads wrong on the weekend. And of course, he scored the goal. I get it. However, it was a header literally on the goal line. I think we all could have done that. But I just think, going forward, yes, good. I like him. But there was a number of times that he just vacated that defensive left-hand side, and we were just so exposed. And yeah, I don't want to see that again. I know Lewis Skelly kind of does that. He inverts, he goes forward, but I don't see the gaping holes that I saw at Old Trafford on the weekend. So definitely for me, I'm bringing Lewis Skelly back in. And I know that he hasn't been sharp in pre-season, but hey, it needs to be brought in at some time. It needs to build up that sharpness. So for me, he comes back into the side. You'll notice as well, Gabriel. The only reason last week that I wouldn't have started him was simply because of what I saw in pre-season. He hadn't had much of a pre-season. Of course, he came off a bad injury at the end of last season. So for me, he was just, again, off it. So I wouldn't have started him. And of course, if I'd have just taken the first half of the Man United game into account, to me, he looked well off it again. But as the game wore on, he did what Gabriel does. He puts his body on the line, interceptions galore. He was immense by the end of it. So definitely, he starts and comes back in for me. And to be honest, it looks like Kivior is just on his way. It seems more and more that that's going to happen. And it's a shame, I think he's a really good squad player. He hasn't let us down. We know he came in at the back end of last season in some important games. And he didn't let us down, So, but hey, good luck to him if he goes. Saliba picks itself. Ben White, again, this is debatable. We know, obviously, to me, Timber's still working back to his fitness. So I'm still favouring White. I think he had a great game against Man United. Slowly getting there back to his best. And again, I want to see that kind of link up that I saw probably a couple of seasons back. White, Ødegaard, Saka down that right-hand side, getting that cohesion, that understanding, that attacking threat. So definitely for me, I would start White. And again, with the midfield, I don't see any reason to change from the weekend. What I saw wasn't great, don't get me wrong. I don't think Zubamendi was that great. Not saying that to be just controversial, but he's obviously getting used to things, but he didn't look amazingly composed, I wouldn't say. Ødegaard, I thought, was a standout player, and I hope to see, again, further improvements as we go with him. We know, without just repeating myself, he's been poor for the last season and a bit. But I thought he looked sharp against Man United. I really did. So I'm hoping for similar signs, similar control on the ball, looking to create for Gyokeres. So yeah, I definitely pick Ødegaard and Rice. Again, for me, really kind of picks itself. And up front, I'm going with the same as what I suggested last week. I know it didn't happen last week, and it probably won't this week. I mean, we'll see on the left-hand side. But for me, I know Madueke came on the game against Man United. Didn't do an awful lot. It didn't really impress me, but I'd be giving him a go because you know what? One certain thing that does not impress me is Martinelli. I'm sick of going on about this guy. Really, we have not seen improvement now for the last couple of years. I'm just not. I'd happily see him go. To be honest, it looks like, of course, we're tying Trossard down to a further contract. I'd happily see him on the left hand side. I just don't want to see Martinelli on there. So for me, Madueke, Gyokeres, again with Gyokeres, just hoping now with Havertz out of the picture that he now just gets the game time he needs, he so desperately needs, because he clearly is lacking on fitness, sharpness, and building that relationship with the team, So I thought, I know that he got slating in some quarters, not necessarily from Arsenal fans on the weekend, but for me, I saw glimpses of, what he can offer. Like I said in that match reaction video, we saw him run down the channels, but we saw him a lot centrally, keeping that central focal point. He was definitely used as that. I noticed a number of balls, longer balls going into him. He's strong. He can hold the ball up. De Ligt played well against him, to be fair, on the weekend. But, I did see glimpses there of a difference of approach, if you like, that he offers us. So that was really good to see. Saka, I'm hoping that he really has a better game this week. I thought it was one of his poorest games against Man United. I know towards the end he had a little bit of a run and created a chance for Madueke, but generally speaking, it was one of the poorest games I've seen him play. Again, like most, just completely lacking sharpness. It was really, really unusual though, because usually even if he's kind of 60, 70% there, he's always looking to take on his man. He generally does. He gets end product in. That was really lacking on the weekend, which was quite shocking. So I really hope I don't see that again. But yeah, please let me know your thoughts on that. But that would be my starting 11 for Saturday's game against Leeds. Prediction time. So I am going to go Arsenal 3, Leeds 0. I'm really hoping for a convincing performance. I hope we stay sharp at the back, but even sharper in attack. I really would love to see some of the new boys get on the score sheet. Gyokeres definitely, and I want to see Madueke get some real game time. Whether that's on the left, whether it's on the right, I don't care. But I want to see more of him than what I saw in the Man United game, and definitely want to see more cohesion, creativity and sharpness in our play. And I'm confident I think we will. So yeah, for me, Arsenal 3, Leeds 0. But as always, please let me know your thoughts and your predictions. And there we have it. Cannot wait, as I say, first game under the lights at the Emirates on Saturday. Should be an amazing atmosphere. Can't wait to watch the game. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please get in touch and let me know your thoughts on any of the content. I love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching.